Hey guys, I'm Mark Texera. This is Augustine's Cooking and Home, where we utilize the seasonal local ingredients that are driving our kitchen. So please, come and cook with us. We're talking about butternut squash today. Everybody's favorite, except for my wife. Go figure. But it's everybody's favorite winter and fall vegetable. It's certainly mine. We are using a humongous one that I found at the market today. Um, Obviously, they're relatively inexpensive. They're super versatile. You can make squash soup, you can make squash salad, you can make squash pasta, risotto. There are a million different things you can do. Butternut squash is probably the most accessible of them all. You can find it at any grocery store. I have gone ahead and peeled it. Very simple. Just peel it. When you do, I usually put down a piece of parchment paper on the bottom, peel it, and that way we can throw away the peelings. We are going to be doing two recipes today. Both of them pasta dishes. One of them is going to be our quote unquote mac and cheese. This one I think is wonderful for a alternative to the mac and cheese that you're going to get in a box. It's super healthier, obviously, because you're making it with fewer and natural ingredients. And the other one is a pasta that we do at the restaurant. It's super popular. It's probably one of the most popular for our fall and winter menus. We're going to be using this pancetta, beautiful pancetta. I like the flat pancettas. You can get two different kinds. One of them is a rolled pancetta. This one is a flat pancetta. This one is probably more traditional, in my opinion, than the other one. We are also going to be using shrimp, a little bit of garlic. For the mac and cheese, we are going to be mixing it with the puree that we're going to be using. And then we are going to be mixing with a little fusilli, a little bit of breadcrumbs, baking it, and then topping it with a little goat cheese just to give it a little creaminess. All right, so the first thing we're going to do for both recipes is going to cut this into dicing, and we're going to cut it into puree. So we're going to take it and we're just going to separate it here. We're going to separate it into the bulb, which is going to be our puree, and the stem, which is going to be our dice. You're going to want to use a sharp knife. Okay. We're going to take this and we're going to cut it down the middle. Okay. That way it's easier. It doesn't roll, so it's nice and flat. This one we're going to cut. Okay. We're going to scoop the seeds. Okay, so you're going to get yourself a nice bowl. Okay, start scooping. These seeds you can save, and you can certainly toast them if you wanted to. Give a little help there. Okay, make sure you get all the pulp and the seeds. Okay. We're going to do this one as well. You could always use a paring knife if you wanted to. Of course, it's giving me a little bit of a hard time. All right, so just going to take it, scrape the seeds out of this one. Okay. Now we have our two halved bulbs, as it were. We're going to get a small saucepan. Okay, and we're just all right. So we cut the bottoms off. We're just going to cut these into big cubes. Okay. They don't have to be any certain size, because we're just going to be making puree out of them. Okay. So put these in here. Now, we're going to be using straight cream. Okay. You can use half and half. You can use water. You can use milk. Whatever your dairy restrictions are, your dietary restrictions. Okay. We're going to turn this on to a medium-high heat. All right, and start to cook that. Now with these, I have the oven preheated to 425. And we're going to start to slice them into half rounds. Okay, try to keep them all the same size. Okay, that way they cook evenly. Then we're going to take them and we're going to start to cut them into dices. All right, so now we're going to finish that. Make sure you really work on your knife skills on this one. Make sure you're cutting them all about the same size so they cook evenly. Okay, we want to go for medium dice. Okay, that way they're just big enough so that they are on the plate, but not big enough where they get in the way. All right, so we've gone ahead and we've cubed all of our butternut squash. We're just going to salt it. Okay. A little black pepper. A little bit of oil. And then I have here, my oven is preheated to 425. All right. And we are going to throw that in there. We're going to put on a timer, okay, for about 25 to 30 minutes. And we're going to make sure that we check it every once in a while just to make sure that it's not burning. In the middle of cooking, I like to take it out, move it around, that way the edges don't burn. And we check on it, make sure that everything's not burning. We're going to go ahead and prep the first recipe that we're going to be doing, the rigatoni with pancetta and shrimp. Now, we're going ahead, we're going to take this pancetta, this beautiful pancetta that we have here. Okay, we're going to slice it into strips. Okay, and then we're going to slice it into a julienne, I guess, of what we would call lardons, if you wanted. Okay. For one recipe, that's about 2 to 3 ounces. 2 to 3 ounces of that. We have 2125 peeled, deveined, tail-off shrimp. 2125 is the number per pound. These were frozen. We are going to take those and we are going to halve them. Okay, I like to halve them the lengthwise. All right. Kind of just makes it, spreads the shrimp out in the recipe. Kind of makes the distribution of shrimp equal. This is about 4 ounces of shrimp here. All right. So we're just going to cut those while our butternut squash is in the oven. All right. Perfect. Okay, take those, put them back. Going to give our cutting board a little rinse. All right, now we have the pancetta, we have the shrimp, and we have garlic now. As you notice, I have peeled garlic. We go through enough garlic at the restaurant that we keep a jar that we peel. We keep it in the refrigerator. We go through it daily. Now, a lot of you have garlic that has been pureed and in a jar. I would advise not to get that. Just go ahead and get yourself a head of garlic, and keep it on the counter. And when you need it, just take a few out, peel them, and cut them so they're nice and fresh. That garlic that you have inside of your refrigerator, I wouldn't use it, but I'm not here to judge you. It says elapsed. We're just gonna check our butternut squash. So what we're looking for is fork tender or knife tender. Once a knife goes in without any resistance, just like a potato, it's done. So we're going to set that aside now. All right, and we're going to come over here and we're going to finish our puree. So we've been boiling for a little bit now, and we're just going to get our emulsion blender, and we're going to start to puree this. Perfect. Now we're going to set that aside, and we're going to get ready to make our pasta. Okay, stop. All right, guys, so let's start with the pasta. Now we have our pasta cooking here. Okay, it's been in for a while. We're going to grab a little bit of the pancetta. Okay, we're going to throw it in. We're starting with the pancetta first because we really want to render that fat. We want to get that flavor going. We're going to add some garlic. Okay, about a tablespoon of garlic. Don't mind that one. We're going to start to cook it now. What we're looking for is we're going to start looking for the edges to start browning a little bit. All right, so we're just going to start cooking that. All right. Now you can smell the aroma of the pancetta. Okay, really starting to infuse. And you can see now we're starting to get a little bit of brown on the garlic. So we're going to add our shrimp. Okay. Now we're going to salt and pepper this. Now, with any recipe or anything you're cooking, we want to salt and pepper as we go. Okay? That way you keep the flavor of the dish moving. So each step is salted and seasoned. All right? We're going to take some white wine. We're just going to deglaze with that. Okay. Put everything back in the pan. We're going to add some of this puree. Okay. We're going to add some of this diced squash. Okay. Now we're just going to add a little bit of this cream. Okay, just to keep it from reducing too much, we're going to turn that down to a low, and we're just going to wait till our pasta cooks. All right, we're going to taste it for seasoning. We're going to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit more pepper. Okay, and now we're going to wait for our pasta. We're going to keep it on a very low. All right, so the pasta is cooked. We're going to add that to our dish here. Okay, should turn this on. Move this to the back. All right, now we are going to start to mix this. Now, if you need to add a little bit more puree, we can add a little bit more puree. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano to this. Okay. All right, now we're all settled in. We're going to grab a bowl. I'm going to grab this bowl here. Okay. And we're just going to start to plate a little bit of this. Okay, turn this off. This here. I'm just going to add a little bit of Parmigiano on top. Now you can see we're using the real stuff. I'm not using that jarred sawdust that they sell. And we're going to add a little bit of pumpkin seeds to the top, just to give it a little crunch. And that's our first pasta dish. We have rigatoni with pancetta, butternut squash, shrimp, and little pumpkin seeds. Buon appetito. Okay, for the second recipe, we're going to drop the pasta. We're using a fusilli here. Okay. We're going to drop about half a bag, a half pound, and we're going to stir it up and let it come back to a boil and cook it down. All right, so we've waited about 13 minutes or so. Again, checking the pasta to make sure for doneness. We're at al dente. We're going to take it off and strain it now. We're going to keep it in the same pot. We don't want to dirty as many pots as we can. We're going to take our puree straight up. Don't cut it with any cream or anything. We want it nice and thick and to coat all the pasta. And we're going to obviously turn on the stove a little bit just to bring it up to a boil. We're going to add our roasted squash to this. All right, we're going to give it a stir. Make sure to get enough puree in so everything is nice and covered. Nice, thick, and creamy. We're going to just add a little seasoning to it. Always add seasoning and make sure everything's seasoned along the way. Therefore, you're just building the flavors. All right, so now that we're up, we're starting to boil. We're going to grab a dish, oven-safe dish. We have our oven already heated to 425. Okay, we're going to add our mixture to the dish, just as you would if you were just baking regular mac and cheese. All right, so we're just going to add all that in there. We're going to top it off with some seasoned breadcrumbs. All right, these are breadcrumbs that I've added a little parsley, salt, pepper to. Okay, we're going to add that to there, and then we're going to put it into our oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. All right, here we are. We are back, and we have everything done. As you can see, I've topped it with a little goat cheese, just to add a little creaminess to it, a little tanginess of the goat cheese. And we're going to give it a little bite here. As you can see, it's a little hot, but you're not going to miss any of that artificial cheese flavor that you're going to get, or you're not going to miss any of that, orangey powdered box stuff. It's super, super great, super creamy, super rich, especially with the goat cheese on top and the crunch of the breadcrumbs and the squash puree. Just delicious, absolutely delicious. Your kids would love it. It's something you could whip up for dinner, 20 minutes, and you're done. Hey guys, thank you for cooking with us. We hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Also follow us on all the social medias on Instagram and Facebook. Also, please comment on what you want to see next, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.